Is the bull market back on? Are we about to see a lot of excitement in the charts again? That that is definitely a possibility. And we've now seen what the market wants to do. When the noise quiets down, when all this fear that's being pumped in the market subsides, the market does want to make significant moves to the upside. And what's interesting is Charles Hoskinson has actually talked about some pretty large prices in terms of BTC by the end of the year. I've seen a lot of questions about this. And what I want to talk about is how this could actually relate to ADA price, what this could do, and it might actually shock you guys. So if you are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So right now, when we're looking at ADA, we're sitting at a modest 6170. I'm still waiting for the CPI report. I film a lot of my videos in the morning, and we could potentially see a little bit of a pop today. I hope that data comes back good because, again, this relief that we're seeing in the market is necessary at times, right? Even as we've gone on their drop, this relief, excitement, right? That could be the case here. There's the potential, guys, that we could spike back up and run to like 70, 80 cents or so and then come back down and kind of reset a higher floor here. But it's about building momentum the opposite direction, creating the reversal, creating that inflection point. And we're going to find out whether that's in fact what we're doing currently. But what's very interesting is I've seen a lot of people talk about this $250,000 BTC projection by Charles Hoskinson. And this actually echoes a lot of the projections from other large names around the space, other major analysts, other institutions. And there is, frankly, a lot of excitement for where BTC could head to by the end of this cycle. Now, is 250K BTC a guarantee? No, absolutely it's not. Right now, we're talking about BTC still doing a 3x from these prices. Now, there are some charts that show that potential is still there, which would make BTC's performance this market cycle absolutely insane. BTC doing over a 10x, that's that's a pretty big surge. Okay. Now, that being said, that's not out of the realm of reality. In fact, when I did this top 10 for 2025 chart here, what I was actually looking at was BTC potentially hitting between a $3 to a $5 trillion market cap. BTC currently sits at about a $1.6 trillion market cap. So, guys, a 3x would put BTC right in that conversation. That'd be about $4.8 trillion. All right. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. But if we look back at this chart, we again can look at and see how this relates to other assets here. Now, again, some shuffles that need to be made here that I have not adjusted. XRP, you could be talking somewhere in the range of 500 billion to a $1 trillion market cap, maybe even higher still. Ethereum could potentially be lower. But what's interesting about this is, I haven't adjusted my projections for ADA for this market cycle yet. So here's the thing. When ADA currently sits at a $500 billion market cap, we'd be looking at about, about 20, is that right? Yeah, 25x from here in terms of ADA price, okay? That would put us somewhere around that $15 ADA or so. And here's the thing, is that becomes more and more realistic as time goes on. Why might I say that? Well, first of all, one of the big things that we have now that we did not have when I was making those projections was this embrace surrounding US-based crypto. I made this list, if you guys can't remember, back in like early 2024, if I remember correctly. And what we might be talking about as this year moves on is either a reduction or removal of capital gains tax on US-based crypto, this embrace of US crypto and US tech. We're obviously talking about the potential integration or at least cooperation between Bitcoin and Cardano, with Cardano being the smart contract layer for BTC, which if that really takes off in a big way, when you're talking about a $4.8 trillion asset and the type of use and building that could take place essentially on a side chain or layer 2 for BTC. I mean, that's huge, right? That's trillions of dollars in liquidity that could be potentially tapped into the Cardano ecosystem. It doesn't necessarily mean that ADA is going to jump to a $1 trillion market cap, but you guys can see how that connection can essentially organically drag ADA with it. Not to mention now, obviously, the connections with XRP. I mean, here's the thing. ADA, this is going to sound horrible. ADA is essentially could be like a leech. And what I mean by that is because of partner chains, because of the ability to use ADA as consensus for all these different blockchains throughout the space, you might actually see the success of other blockchains impact ADA directly. The use of Cardano and ADA with those blockchains could actually drag ADA up organically without without even advertising or anything like that. That's truly the potential and the unique thing that Cardano and ADA have that other blockchains in the space do not. So now this shift there, and that's not even including the stuff that Cardano is doing on its own, right? This being tapped by governments throughout the world, enterprises looking into Cardano in a big way. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that frankly could be major accelerants for ADA as this cycle goes on. But what people need to remember as well is, again, a lot of ADA's performance is going to take place when the market is pumping, all right? When there is excitement, when adoption is taking place. I know some people, they keep asking me or keep saying that, oh yeah, mass adoption isn't going to happen this cycle, or, we're running out of time. And, frankly, later this market cycle, basically the back half of 2025, is when we talked about these major advancements in Cardano DeFi really taking off. That's when we talked about big adoption for the space. That's when we talked about ADA's best price performance, right? Right now is just basically the tease. This is just essentially getting the ball rolling. And what we've seen a lot of during this time is, again, ADA showing a lot of resilience where other assets have struggled. And this should give people a lot of confidence for where things are headed. I did, in fact, see another creator actually do a video about ADA dominance. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And what was very interesting about this is when we look at the overall market cap of crypto, there were charts showing that ADA could actually surge in a similar way to what it did last market cycle and approach 4% dominance. And again, 4% dominance, when we're looking at a $10 to $12 trillion market cap overall, you're talking about close to a $500 billion ADA. So a lot of this stuff, again, tends to align with what we've been talking about from 2023 to 2024 to 2025. And now the picture is coming even more into focus. Right now, understand that it's still about being patient. There are still going to be ebbs and flows in the market. There's still going to be retracements and black swan events and days where ADA maybe drops, 10, 15, 20%. And that's just crypto, baby. That's just the way that things happen over time. But we are in probably the most exciting cycle. It doesn't seem like it right now, but we're in probably the most exciting cycle we will have ever been in crypto. And this does include next market cycle as well, because we're really watching the advancements unfold. We're watching the evolution of the crypto industry. And the great news is that, guys, the timing is perfect for Cardano. The timing is perfect for ADA. And all we have to do is just sit back, watch, and see what happens next. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.